Podcast hosts Gabe and Leo discuss topics that directly and indirectly affect the LGBTQ plus community. Their generation gap has them seeing the world through very different points of view. They fight, they argue, they laugh, and they get off topic. But they make sense. Most of the time. Are you ready for this episode of Let's Talk Trans? Well, let's get started. Hey, happy Wednesday night. Alright, so, yeah, I know I missed Father's Day. I'm sorry. It was Father's Day. In my defense, it was a very, it was a mixed emotions kind of day. Let's leave it at that. Just a lot going on. It was a 2-year anniversary of my stepdad's death. And so to have, Father's Day on a day when you can't really show love and admiration for a parent, it messes with you, and I wasn't in the right frame of mind to be here. Truth be told, I'm not 100% sure I'm in the right frame of mind to be here today, but I'm here. Anyway. Leo and I have been on 2 fire calls tonight, so this was actually supposed to happen hours ago, but I didn't get to it, and again, just when I was sitting down, there was another fire call, and we're trying to get Leo out on more calls, so yeah, you guys got put on hold. I apologize. A couple cool things have happened. I am one step closer to top surgery. I got my referral from my doctor, and I got my appointment for the consultation. The only downside is the consultation is not until December. But, somebody backed out of a surgery or canceled a consultation, and I got lucky enough to get the spot. That being said, I now have to lose weight. Because, at least as far as the insurance goes and the medical facility up here, my BMI has to be under a certain level, and it's not. And so I have to now work on it. Which I knew was there, but my goodness. But having an actual date, kind of helps. The other thing is that, on Father's Day, my mother, who I've talked about in the past, mass mixed signals. She called my kids to remind them that it was Father's Day, which was fine. That was admirable. I approve of that. I appreciate that. But then left them to their own. Which, again, my kids are old enough to kind of get it, so I'm not going there. But my brother's kids, my cisgender stepbrother, who live with my mother, she, and one of which is a full-grown adult, he's 22, she bought their Father's Day cards for them. She bought them, she, put in the little gift cards for Home Depot, she did the whole 9 yards, so that the kids had something to give their father. And not one, mind you, two Father's Day cards to him. And, yeah, there I was holding a bag with nothing. She said Happy Father's Day, but, so, and I did ask, I confronted her on it, because, I said, hey, look, this, in my head, it's coming across as a little prejudiced, and I want to know what's going on. And she's like, no, it's just that, I bought them for them, and they gave them to them, it was from them. I'm like, yeah, but if you bought it, it was from you. It just had their name on it. Well, I did remind your children. Yes, but one of my children is younger, and if you bought for the older two, then how is it you didn't, why don't you just call an orange an orange? You thought about it, you bought for your own, you protected your own, you handled your favorite like you always do, and you move on. Right? Okay. I've never been her favorite kid, ever. I've never been her favorite kid. I'm not worried about it. But, like I said, that nagged me because I was literally there, cutting wood, hauling wood, helping my sister with the greenhouse, doing all this stuff, And it was, yeah, okay, happy Father's Day, whatever. Again, I just shake my head. I truly shake my head on this one. So yeah, it was, like I said, it was a little rough. And then, and today is the gender dysphoria. I don't know what it was. I don't know why it was, but I woke up this morning, and it was probably the most intense it's ever been. Like, I was so aware of my chest. I was so, even with a binder on, which, again, because I'm a top-heavy individual, the binders don't usually do a whole lot of good. I was so aware that I ended up finding, like, the baggiest shirt I possibly could to go to work to hide it. To hide my breasts, to hide my boobs. Because I was so ashamed of them and so grossed out by them. And that mentality kind of haunted me all day long. It haunted me even tonight. It's, you know, it's just, and like I said, the gender dysphoria, that I don't want to say that's new for me, because it's not new, but it's never been quite as intense as it was today. And people talk about gender dysphoria, and I sometimes I don't even, I admit I don't get it to some extent. I understand it on a clinical level. I understand it scientifically, but on an emotional level, it's a little hard for me to grasp. And that's just because I don't experience it on a huge level. Do I hate, parts of my body? Of course. Can I wait to get rid of them? Oh my God, I can't wait to get rid of them. Do I look in the mirror and go, my God, my body's... Yes, but of course. But I'm also 200 plus pounds, and I'm not sure that those are the body parts that I'm looking at when I say that. You know what I mean? I mean, like, I don't experience it on the same level that a lot of people do. And I know a lot of people experience gender dysphoria on a level that is haunting. They find themselves, beyond words. I don't want to say it. I definitely don't want to trigger anybody's gender dysphoria. In my opinion, we are all we are masterpieces. In my opinion, we are masterpieces. We are all sculptures. We are constantly working to achieve the end product that we desire. We have the ability to mold ourselves in the way that we want to see ourselves. Physically, psychologically, emotionally, the whole 9 yards. When people see themselves in the mirror and the gender dysphoria hits, and it's extremely difficult. It brings on depression. It brings on thoughts of suicide. It brings on, the whole 9. I mean, like and I realize I'm talking the extremes at the moment. But when it does that, I hope people understand, and I want to say that I hope people understand that they're not alone. That they understand that they are a work in progress, and that what they see is an unfinished product. But in the same breath, I know that when the mind is in that place, when that mind is in that dark, thick, choking environment, where we almost suffocate on our own thoughts, that it's really, really hard to remember those things. Somebody once told me that I should write sticky notes and put them on the mirror, because I can't always remember that I'm a work in progress. I can't always remember that. Somebody once said it. You're one handsome SOB. I can't always, remember those things when I'm heading for that darkness, when I'm heading for that unforgiving place. And those sticky notes that are on the mirror, I can see them, and they're visible anchors that often pull me back. I admit, I'm a person, I do suffer from depression. My depression is PTSD related, so it is not gender dysphoria related. perhaps not. I don't know. No. It's gender dysphoria can trigger some of my depression, but when I go into deep wells, it's PTSD related. But the reason why I say this and the reason why I talk about this is because, we are losing so many kids to depression. We are losing so many kids to being lost and closeted and terrified to come out to their parents because of the fear of rejection. And, that always plays a factor in the gender dysphoria. Kai got her roommate list this week, and she is in a 4-bedroom room at the college, and she shares it with 3 other people who are part of the LGBTQ plus community. She chose that community. She chose to, be in dorms where, people of like opinions. And one of her dormies has not come out to parents. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to say how they identify. I'm not going to say how any of them identify. But, they are not comfortable enough with their family to come out to them. And that is gut-wrenching. It's truly, truly gut-wrenching to hear that any child would be uncomfortable or that they would feel in any way that their family would not or could not accept them. I say that with a parent who struggles to accept, but I'm an adult. I'm well past the age of needing parental acceptance. And I say that right after the fact that I complained about the fact that I didn't get a Father's Day card. But I say that because of the fact that, okay, I didn't get a Father's Day card. Yeah, it sucked, but guess what? Move the freak on. Not because I sat and woohooed myself, I called my mother right out on it. But the thing of it is that I want people who suffer from gender dysphoria, and I want people, especially, and children or teens or young adults who feel like they can't come out to their parents, to know that they can come out to people, that, it's comfortable. They're okay to come out to others. That it's okay to, it's okay to come out to me. It's okay to come out to people in support groups. There's tons of Facebook support groups. If you're listening, then you probably either found us on Speaker or Spotify or YouTube or Facebook or, Google, or you found us on some platform. You have access. You know what I mean? You have support. It's Pride Month, for the love of great googly moogly. There's so much support out there right now. It's insane. There's always the Trevor Project. The Trevor Project is growing insanely. Insane how much attention the Trevor Project is getting right now. Again, I contribute that to Pride Month, but yeah. For the first time in a long time, we haven't heard too much in the news about states and their transgender, anti-LGBTQ bills. Whether they're gearing up for something else or they're trying to squash, the January 6th stuff, or they're worried about gas prices or whatever have you. It's kind of, it doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means we're not hearing about it. I'm not so naive that I think that just because the media is not talking about it doesn't mean it's not happening. The media loves to talk, but it still happens afterwards. Sorry, I'm absolutely in love with, I'm having a cup of Fairlife milk. I absolutely love that stuff. I don't care how expensive it gets. But, yeah, and I'm also watching the weather because, we're under all these tornado and flood watches and warnings. And welcome to summer in northeast Pennsylvania. And, yeah, it just is what it is, I suppose. But, I don't know. Anyway, so it looks like it'll get wet later. I'm not terribly worried about it. But anyway, So yeah, so like I said, gender dysphoria is hitting, and because I've never, like I said, I've never experienced it so horribly, or I've never experienced it so harshly to the fact where I now have a pile of dirty shirts, or clean shirts, I should say, technically, on the floor, that I truly don't know how to handle it. I've never, like I said, I've never had to face it before, because it was something I could always push in the background, but now it's kind of staring me in the face, and now I need to know what to deal with. I shouldn't say get over. It's more like coping with. Yeah. So, I need some coping skills. Whoever thought I'd need coping skills? So, for me, alright, so, again, it depends on a person. So, let's just start there. There's tons of coping skills. Blogging, of course, talking to somebody online, there's always a hotline out there to call. There's, the one that I look up. Like I said, I have a weird one because of where I work, I have access to a therapist 24/7. Yeah, it kind of says something about where I work, but we do have, I have access to a therapist. I can give them a call, and if it got to that point where I would. The thing of it is for me is because, and I don't call them with these types of things because, I don't know who's on the other end. I don't know if they're transgender. I don't know if they're a supporter or not. I don't know, if they're just going to, tell me what they think I want to hear, or if they're really going to help me through it. So it's always, again, you can talk with therapists. You can write in a notebook, blog, journal, artwork, craft projects, music. Oh my God, there's so many ways to express yourself. I love to express myself through photography. And that's definitely one way of doing it. Again, the support, you have to have the support. For those of you who don't feel like you have support, again, you come out to a family member, you haven't come out to a friend, maybe you came out to somebody that didn't go the right way. I'm on Facebook, okay? Find me through the page. I will listen to you. I've been up, all nights, all hours of the night listening to people. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not a therapist, but I will listen. You can find and use, obviously you can find and use aids. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it's part of the problem. If you're, like I said, for me today, it was my shirts. My shirts just, and my binder just did not suck in enough. But again, I'm big-chested, so they're only going to do so much. So, in a sense, my binder was part of my problem today. And if I could have just got into big frumpy clothes and hidden under my covers, I would have. I couldn't, but I would have. That would have been nice to do today. And I have to remind myself, I'm a dude. I'm a guy. Not misogynistically going, hey man, I can handle this. I'm tough. Blah. Yeah, no. Not going, yeah, just a little girl, I'm a wimp. No, man, toughen up, suck it up. No, none of that. No, just, again, I remind myself. I look in the mirror when I'm at work and go, okay, yeah. I love to look at my chin hairs, all my little beard hairs that are either blonde or white or whatever color they are. And I look at those and I'm proud of them, and that's okay. And sometimes it does just come down to cuddling up or taking a hot bath or a relaxing shower or, any number of those things. Sometimes it's just a walk. Just to remind yourself, that you can work it out and think it out and, all those things. I just put popcorn in my mouth on the radio. I'm so sorry, you guys. Hold on. I'm sorry. Popcorn is my go-to. It's my weakness. And so, but yeah. I said, you can always talk to another person. I'm thankful enough that I have Leo here to talk to. And he listens to me most of the time. And sometimes he tells me I'm really weird or something like that. But I told him a joke yesterday, and I had him in damn near in a panic. And then I reminded him it was a joke, and he got mad at me and cussed me out and all that other fun stuff. The thing that one of the things that I use, and I use this with students who are panicking or having anxiety attacks or panic attacks, is the five senses. And I always ask them for, 5 things they can see, 4 things they can hear, 3 things they can smell, 2 things they can touch, 1 thing they can taste. And usually by the time they get down to that taste, they've calmed a little bit and they've focused a little bit. And you can, kind of redirect and then go back through the talking points and things like that. But again, exercises are always great. Again, remember that you are a work in progress. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And those people who tell you they are or who act like they are, they're full of themselves. Okay? One big thing that I have to ask you to do this is if you feel like when your gender dysphoria kicks up or depression hits in, that you stay away from spaces where that you're tempted, let's put it that way, tempted to do things that you shouldn't do, and you want to avoid places and people and things that accentuate that mood. So bring you, if you're down and they bring you down, then you just need to stay away from them. So like my gender dysphoria, I'm going to stay away from my mom until that kind of goes away. I just think I need to do that. And then that's kind of the best way to do it. I said you can pamper yourself, you can go out on nature. If you have the opportunity to go bird watching or just sit out on a deck or a porch and just kind of, watch the stars, like, go for it. Like tonight's utterly insane. This week, most of this week, I think, there are 5 planets in a line with Earth. And you can see the stars. You don't need a telescope to be able to see. They're bright and they're in a line, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But you can use those types of things to calm yourself and redirect yourself, and So like I said, there's all sorts of things. You have to remember, and I have to remind myself often that this will pass. Okay, that it's not. I don't want to say it's not as bad as it seems, because in that moment it's as bad as it seems. I won't even lie. In that moment it's horrible, but it will get better. If this is the absolute worst there's ever been, you're rock bottom. There's nowhere else to go but up. And remind yourself of that it's okay. It's okay to have bad days. It's okay to not like your body the way it is. I think the only people who like their bodies the way they are infants. And that's because they're infants. Once we get to a stage in life, every human being gets to a stage in their life where they just don't like their body image. Male, female, transgender, cisgender, black, white, red with blue polka dots. It doesn't matter. It's everybody. All right. So yeah, like I said, I needed to kind of express all that, and I needed to get that all out there because, like I said, I have had a moment today, and I've had a rough day, and I'm just not on par, and it's very obvious because I'm not my usual jovial, happy-go-lucky self, and I'm saying so many times it's not funny. So I'm going to leave you with this one for tonight, and I do want you to remember that it is completely okay to be you. There is no other you in this whole wide world. There's only one you. Alright? So, you are absolutely brilliant. And by brilliant, I mean work in progress, freak flag fly, wear your rainbows, don't wear rainbows. Whatever you want to do to express you, you do it. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever inspires you to go out and make a difference in the day. Go out and be somebody today. It's okay. It's completely okay. In fact, it's better than okay. In my opinion, you're the coolest. You are absolutely the coolest, and I cannot wait to meet you. Alright? Alright, so I'm going to sign off for Wednesday night. I hope you have a fabulous night. Enjoy the rest of your week. And, yeah, stay true to you. Alright? Because that's what we do. Joining us on this episode of Let's Talk Trans. We hope you had fun. We know we did. If you like us and you want to hear more, follow us on Facebook. Subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, or Google Podcast, or wherever it is that you get your podcast from. Until next time, stay true to you.